Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eddie Marcus, and I'm spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. You know, I've kind of decided to not focus that much on people who call themselves children of God, because the evidence of their proclamation is just missing. Now, this could be, as I'm sure they will say, my observation. Theirs is totally different, and I'm not going to argue with that. But what I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, is this. This message is to what we call Christians, and I would like to include other people, but specifically Christians, because I know exactly what they talk about. What I have done, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Like most people in America, we grew up in the church hearing people talk about God and Jesus and all that good stuff. We never really got a chance to see people practice it because it was seemingly something out of their reach. They always expected God to do something, or God to, if anything to be done, it will be done by God and none others. Well, we call that which is done by God and none others as miracles. Now, a miracle can occur to you or me or many people, but who will believe a miracle? See, usually a miracle comes and very few people are observing it. And even if they do observe it, people who did not observe it is not going to believe it. And if a miracle just happened to you in absence of others, then it didn't happen in the eyes of others. Nevertheless, a miracle is for the one who receives it. What it does, it eliminates doubt about the existence of that power that man cannot duplicate. And I have, on many occasions, had an experience of that power, which entitles me to actually talk about God. But more than that, it encourages me, persuades me that I should walk the walk. Now, having gone through my adolescent ages and my youth, I have committed. What happened? What happened? Oh! I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at I thought I was talking to my camera, and I guess I was, but I looked down and I saw this GPS, and I'm thinking, what happened to the camera? But it's up on the screen doing this thing. Yeah, what I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, is this. The reason that I want to talk to you about God today is because God has convinced me that you don't believe in God. I am convinced that God is the answer to all our prayers, none other. I am convinced that in order for us to straighten our situation out, we're going to have to wake up and do it ourselves. There's no other power that's going to come and do it for us, as far as I can see. I say these things, ladies and gentlemen, to you because in an understanding of God and how God has revealed God to me, this is how I see God being revealed to you. Now, the message that I have did not just come to me, and I don't want to say God told me, because I was watching a video a few minutes ago, some guy I had never seen before popped up on this particular post and said, God told me. And I thought right away, what's your evidence that God told you? Or what are you going to use to validate this? And why should people listen to you? And by me thinking that, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to talk about God did this and God said that, and how can I validate it? So I decided not to say it like that. I decided to say that God in my life has persuaded me to act in a special kind of way. That special kind of way is to see my own problems. You know, there's something in the Bible that says, do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. And so it kind of sets up a guideline for me. I know the things that are essential for life. I want them, and as far as I'm concerned, everybody wants them. And I'm talking about food. Everybody got to have food to live. Clothing, everybody got to have to live. Shelter, everybody got to have it to live. Education helps them live better. Healthcare, stay alive. And all of these kinds of things, you know what I'm saying, about the thing that's most wonderful out of all the things I did mention is having a career. That's what makes your life worthwhile, something to do. And a gift that gives you your greatest joy is the gift that was given to you at your creation. Most folks don't know that. Very few people find it. You know, playing sports, singing, dancing, stuff like that, maybe building buildings, but very few people find it. So what I'm saying to everybody is that humans' number one concern, the best thing could ever happen to any human, is to recognize his career, recognize his job. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic, because therein is the answer to your prayers. Now, I can tell you about the miracles, but I'm not going to tell you because you wouldn't believe them anyway. All I'm going to say to you is this. I have been convinced that man did not make the earth. I'm convinced that all of the powers of the earth comes from the power that made the earth. And I'm convinced that those that benefit from the earth was made to benefit from the earth by the power of the earth and the power that made the ones that benefit from the earth. To add to that, I am convinced beyond a shadow of doubt that this peace and prosperity and freedom and joy that we all seek would come out of doing things the way God would have things doing, following the principles of doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you. That would answer our prayers. This is the message that I tell you and anybody else that would listen to me. This is the way that we can have heaven on earth. All of us could live happily, joyously. But we have chosen not to live that way. Let me tell you, after having been given this information about how this new world, this new system, this new America, this could be established, I ran for president several times, championing that message. As you who watch my posts know, I almost indicate every time I make a post. And nobody was interested. Each time I ran for president, whether I ran for governor, whether I ran for mayor, whatever, didn't make any difference what I ran for. The people just didn't want to hear. And I knew after the first time I ran president and offered this, what everybody had been on their knees praying for. I knew they'd been on their knees praying for, because when I was in the pulpit, they used to do that. And so I decided that, travel around the country, spread the good news that they didn't know, and just come back. And having run for these offices, nobody was interested. I knew that the people were so corrupted that they weren't going to be satisfied, because nothing was going to change until the devil came. And in, 2016, the devil came. And America went crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you don't want to hear me say this, but America went crazy. America is in love with Satan, lying and cheating and stealing and terror and war and violence and crime. That's the American way. And anything that would produce this is what America loves. And what would produce this? Injustices would produce this. Being unfair and racist and bigot and white supremacist. That would cause this stuff to happen. And this, my friends, is the elements of the devil. And this is what we are living in America. The devil is running America. And all the preachers, including myself, we are being led by the devil. Because if we knew God, we would not take this. We would be just like Abraham Lincoln. We'd be just like Gandhi. We'd be like Martin Luther King. We would be like Malcolm X and anybody else that we don't know who gave their lives for what God wants to live on this earth. The rest of us, I don't care what we say, we have sold out. We'll do a lot of things, but we ain't giving up that life. I'm going to cut this off and maybe pick it up when I come back. I got to get something out of the store, okay? And ladies and gentlemen, the evidence of what I just stated is so obvious. Everybody wants to live. Nobody wants to die. Even though the plan is for everybody to die. To know that you're going to die and to choose how you die. Man, what a big, powerful benefit. So what I did, because I know that there are so many people out here claiming that God told them to do this and to do that, I made a commitment and a vow with God that on this path, all of the things that I'm telling people about what is available to them, I want it all for myself. I want it all. I want it all. I want the education, the health care, the best in the world. I want the best, beautiful city that you can make. I want the best car you can drive, the best house you can live in, the best water you can drink, the best food. I want all of that. But I promised on my commitment that I would not accept any of it or try to get that for myself unless it is happening for everybody else at the same time. See, I'm aware that everybody want a better life. And people say, we're all concerned about this. But I've always witnessed that when that happens, you'll find some people trying to do something. When one get that life kind of satisfied, they're kind of satisfied. And they're about tired and not too much interested in trying to help anybody else. So I've always had a big mouth. I've always talked a lot. And I've always had good vibes. And things have worked for me. So I really didn't think there was a problem when I started saying, okay, God, I'm going to change the world by your power. I had no problem. I knew righteousness, and I knew all the people were saying the stuff. If they were true, I had no problem. I really didn't accept the fact that they were just lying. I didn't accept the fact that they were just lying. Even though it didn't happen, had never happened at this point, I just bought into the fact that they didn't know any better. They didn't know. They needed someone to really explain it to them. And I was going to be the one to explain it to them. I was going to be the one to tell them that if everybody got a job, then everybody's working in every field that has been exposed as being necessary to do the things that we need to do. And because everybody's working, there'd be enough people in every field to do an abundant workload. And that it's a job that they love, it would be no problem. And so when food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, all those things I mentioned, there would be over an abundance and nobody would have to suffer without anything. Wouldn't suffer a lack of anything. Except there was one other chance, and that was the devil, which would advocate lies, cheating, stealing, the whole works, hatred, racism, bigotry, you name it, the whole works. That's all the devil is about. And then President Devil or President Donald Trump came in office, lying, cheating, stealing, terrorizing, a bigot, a racist. I mean, everything that a devil is. And he spoke, and all of those other related demons rose up. They were in the Congress. They were in the United States House of Representatives. They were in the United States Senate. They were in the Supreme Court of the United States. They were everywhere. The demonic voices that hate rose up. And for 7 years, we have not been able to get rid of that devil. For 7 years, we have not been able to get rid of that devil. That devil has done all the stuff anybody else would have been arrested for, put in jail, wouldn't have that voice. They'd have just shut him up and put him in jail. And most of them might not have been able to get a bail. They were just bound. But no, this devil, nobody would convict this devil. When the people try to convict him, the Senate says, no way, we're not going to convict him. He's one of us. Now you say, why they say one of us? They voted for him. They put him back in office. They kept him in office. He's one of them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got right now. That's what we're dealing with right today. America dealing with the devil. But I want you to know, America's democracy is the womb of this devil that's living in America. Let me say it again. America's democracy. Now, what am I saying? I'm not just talking about democracy. I'm talking about America's system of social existence is the womb of this devil that's trying to destroy this country. And if Democrats think that the solution to the problem of this monster that's trying to destroy this country is a little bit more Democrat, you got to be out your mind. You got to be out your mind. If you think If you think this is the answer, you've got to be out of your mind. This is not the answer. So, what's going to happen? Unless America and the people of America wake up. I'm not just talking about this political stuff. This is not about politics now. This is about righteousness and evil. Trumps represent evil. Those who are over there with Trump, who are mostly Republicans, and there's some Democrats too, they are just representing nothing but evil, total evil. And if the womb has nothing to produce to counter that, then America will be destroyed. And she is going down right now. Look how the judges. I mean, this devil went set it up real good. Set it up real good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take this little bit of time and tell you that by me making the sacrifice, said I was not going to enjoy these things that I desired while you desired them and couldn't. And as a result, I'm going to pause this and show you some things that I had to suffer if I can make it back home before it stops. I'm headed back to the house. I was trying to go talk to a preacher, maybe have some information from a conversation with, but the road was closed. I couldn't get down through there. They had a detour. So I'm going back, going on to the house, and I'm going to see if I can identify some of the stuff that I suffered. First of all, it's none of your business, but I want you to know. See, a lot of people are ashamed of their situation. I'm ashamed of the situation. I'm ashamed of my living conditions because those wonderful things that I want out of life, I don't have them. And one of the reasons why I don't have them is because I don't engage myself in the dog-eat-dog battle trying to get it. Nah, I don't do that. My attitude is, if we can't do it the right way, then we're not supposed to have it. If we can't get it the right way, we're not supposed to have it. Now, my wife is not called to advocate for this. She's one just like everybody else that got to be converted. Because what people do is they go out there and they try to make a living. Now, my wife does okay. If I worked and made money, I wouldn't have these problems. I wouldn't have all of this headache. But that's what comes with these problems. You have headaches. And so when I got a headache, that means to me, everybody out there who's going through these changes, who want to do something and can't do it, going through these same darn headaches. And it is because I have faith in what I can't see that would answer me, that I could stand up in that power's name and be able, in the right moment, I can't call it nothing now, but in the right moment, alert some people that might benefit from it. The truth of the matter is, I cannot change the world. Martin Luther King couldn't change the world. Gandhi couldn't change the world. Jesus couldn't change the world. And in order for the world to be changed, it will be changed by God, but not through a miracle. It'll be changed by God through the people who allow the spirit of love, the spirit of righteousness exhibit in their actions. And through that, we will have a society where people are not having to go through these changes. But that hasn't happened. And it looked like I'm just talking. I got about 18 minutes of talking. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm returning back to my abode. Now, this house here is purchased by my wife. I'll be honest, to tell you the truth, if it was required on me, we wouldn't have a house. I lived in a shack and stood up and demanded that we change our system until everybody could have a home.